Hi, guys, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, this week I thought we would take a look at my Alien and Predator Kenner figure collection. I have a lot that are not sealed, so I decided it'd probably be easier to start with the ones that are, with one exception, but we'll get to that. Um, Now, I would love to open these. Trust me, I probably should, but you don't see them a lot sealed. When you do, it's usually the Space Marine figures or a couple of the more common ones, which I do have. One that I don't have sealed that I wouldn't mind getting is this Snake Alien. That's like one of my favorites. And they did have different packaging depending on when they released it. I want to say the original packaging was just the standard square stuff. But then they started releasing it in these like egg type packaging, which makes sense with Alien, of course. So I'll show you one of those right now, and that's the Scorpion Alien. Um, his main feature is that he blows apart. It's kind of goofy, but this is like one of the earlier lines. Uh, yeah, 1986 to 1992. So this must have been one of the earlier lines. And of course, they didn't have a lot of the alien figures. They had mostly the Space Marines and the vehicles, which, they can be cool, but I've never really been interested in them. I mean, I have a few of them. You'll see that in the next part. Um, but these were always the main focus. And this is one that I found pretty early on. I can't remember how much I paid, but it wasn't that much. Um, and, it just kind of looks like a standard Xenomorph warrior. So I was like, keep it sealed. Next, we have the Rhino alien. Trying to get a way for you guys to see these pretty well. But sometimes the packaging, I mean, you can obviously see what it's supposed to look like in the picture. Now, this is when they had a little bit more figures in the lineup. So, as you can see on that top row, they had a lot more aliens to offer. And the cool thing that they were doing with this set is they were kind of hybrids with of aliens and animals, which I always thought was really cool. And I'm like, why didn't the movies ever try to do that? Or why didn't they release more? There's tons of animals they didn't do. Can you imagine like a shark alien? That'd be freaking sick. But they did give us a lot of cool ones like the gorilla, the mantis. I don't have those sealed, but I do have the arachnid alien sealed. This is definitely one of the later series. You can tell by looking at the back because there's no Space Marines on this. It was just advertising all the different aliens and all the different Predator figures they had, including like the bigger sets and the electronic figures, which I thought's pretty cool. And this one actually, I like the look of him. I don't know if you can see his face. It's just like a xenomorph head on a spider's body, which makes sense. But then we have the King Alien. Now, again, with the creative liberties that they took with this toy line, they did multiple versions of the Queen, and they also did a King Alien concept. And I really love the design of it. That's another thing that I'm always like, man, imagine if we got to see this in a movie. Now, obviously, he's probably like way smaller than the Queen, but it would make sense. But they probably just, said, hey, we don't need to. Maybe this is a thing that's in the comics more. I haven't really read a lot of the Alien comics myself, but I was finally glad to get this one because this is one of the ones I've been hunting for a long time. Then we have a classic right here. This is probably the one that's in the best condition out of everything, and that's the Alien versus Predator box set. Now, I had these growing up, along with a couple of the other aliens, like the gorilla one. I want to say I probably had the mantis, maybe. But this one, interestingly enough, this one released kind of early in the lineup. You can tell because there's not a lot of different aliens. They weren't advertising the Predator stuff as much. They have a few right here. Then they have the different queens, and they have the queen or the alien attack suit. Trying to disguise himself. But this was one that I loved because it came with the basic warrior alien, which is the classic that everyone knows. Plus, you get this cool Predator with all his different accessories. And then the Predator lineup just kind of spun out of control and did their own thing. Um, this is basically very. A lot of the molds for the Predator figures, especially, were very similar, if not literally the same, with just a different coat of paint. And this is one that I think the Cracked Tusk Predator. This is a variant of that, and it's the Lava Planet Predator. So it's literally got all the same accessories, the same type of mask. I think they tried to switch it up a little bit with some of them, but even on the back for the Predator figures, like just looking at the Cracked Tusk one and that one, you can see they're practically identical, other than the paint job, of course. Then we have, actually, I'll show you the Predator Clan Leader. Don't clip that. No, it's fine. This is like the Predator's version of the King or Queen, basically an elder Predator. And his figure is slightly taller than the other Predator figures. Wasn't till the NECA releases that they actually built them a little more to scale, bigger wise. Then we have the electronic laser shot Predator. I think this is pretty cool. And it's got this sticker for some place called the Collectors Mall. It's got firing assault cannon with 3 electronic sounds. I highly doubt those batteries still work. And the packaging at the bottom was a little loose, so I taped it. I don't mind doing that. I'm not planning on opening this bad boy. Gotta love the artwork. Pretty cool. This is one that NECA also redid. I unfortunately never picked it up. I mean, not that I didn't want to. It just was like, eh. And then by the time I was ready to get it, it was gone. So I was like, whatever. I'm more happy to have the original. And last but not least, this one is not sealed, but it's pretty much complete. It is missing some stuff. But that is the Alien Queen Hive playset. Just look at that. Awesome artwork. And it's got like slime with it. Because, of course, a lot of toys in the late 80s and 90s, they love slime. Like creepy crawlers and stuff like that. So let me get this out. So you got this gigantic, gross green tumor, basically, that snaps into here somehow. I think it's like that. Yeah. And then you got like this little device that opens and pours the goop when you have the goop inserted. Right here, this little hole is supposed to be where the little chest burster, like, let's see if you can see it on the back. You can kind of see it right there. The little red thing poking out. It's supposed to launch out, but I don't have that part, obviously. I do have the original instructions. The little canister of goop, which it's been a few years since I've opened it, so why not? Let's open the goop. The ooze, which you can tell is rock hard, but let's take a whiff of this, see how horrible it smells. Okay, it really doesn't have much of a smell, and there's really not much in there. Either because they actually used it or it dried up. My money's on the latter. Then you have a couple of these things, which I don't think these are actually part of this. I think these are part of one of the Resurrection toys. Maybe. But you have this little egg with the pieces coming out. And then you have this miniature queen alien. So I think these are from, like I said, the Alien Resurrection toy line. But I just keep them in here, just because. Then we have the queen herself. Let me put her tail on, which is easier said than done. Okay, there it is. It kind of slides on. These old toys can be very tricky. Oh, it actually plugs in. Just kidding. I thought it slid in. There we go. So like her tail plugs in, and it's got like a whipping action. She's got these weird little like spike wing things on the back. My favorite detail. Look at the stilettos. Slay Queen. Literally, the alien has pumps. That's pretty funny. And then, of course, you have the iconic head, the look of the queen, and she can actually like move her head, kind of swivels a little bit when you move it. This is probably my favorite queen figure. Unfortunately, it's part of this box set. You know, I don't want to open it up and keep it on display all the time. So, oh, and that tail is hard to pull off. It makes me kind of nervous. But yeah, I got this for a good deal a while back, and it's obviously something you don't see a lot. Usually, if you find the queen, she's missing her tail, missing a limb, doesn't have any of this, like the playset base with her. So I think this is pretty cool. If I can actually get it out of here. Oh gosh. Maybe I shouldn't have put this in here. This is going to be fun. How in the world do I get this out of here? Well, I'll figure that out off camera. But yeah, so there you go. The Queen Alien Hive playset. It's pretty cool. But next week, we're going to take a look at the loose figures. I have a ton of those, and I'm probably going to use the same style that I did. Just shine the light, show them in front of the chair. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll stay tuned next week for the loose figures, and I'll see you then.